My family's American experience began when my grandfather bought his identity from a man named Chin Gim Moon. My dad was born in America as Daniel Moon, then later changed his name to his family name, Daniel Yi.
Growing up in Chinatown back in the time when I was young, we had to face a lot of prejudice between Chinatown. There was South Boston on one side and East Boston on the other, the Irish and the Italians. There was constant harassment from both ends. People who lived in Chinatown was pretty much confined to the area because anywhere they would go, they would have to go in groups because they would get picked on.
After living in Chinatown all his life, my dad and his family had to move from Chinatown to Brighton.
The Boston Redevelopment Authority forced us out in the thing. They took our house by eminent domain.
At the time, they were starting to build the Mass Pike, and the land was very scarce, so they were taking land from the community left and right. Because the Chinatown population was getting so big, over 300 families were being displaced from their homes on Albany, Tyler, Hudson, Harvard, and Oak Street. My dad was a part of many groups and organizations in the Chinatown community. The Boston Chinese Freemasons played a big part in my dad's life.
I used to do the lion dance. I used to play the head, I used to play the tail, I used to play the drum, I used to play the cymbal. The one most memorable moment that I've done was with the development of the Oak Street complex. The Freemasons at the time was backing housing over commercial use, which is we thought was better for Chinatown. It was because of the Freemasons that I ran for office to help develop that.
Unfortunately, my dad started to lose his hearing.
I noticed that I started losing it right around the time that I graduated out of high school. And then slowly it got worse and worse on the thing, but I was lucky enough to be able to still retain the hearing until I got out of college. Right, but after that, everything started going downhill.
My dad had to give up so much because of his hearing.
I had to give my mom my position over at the neighborhood council. I had to resign from the board of directors of the YMCA. I hated giving everything up. The only reason that I'm still on the volleyball committee and involved with the Freemasons is they understand my hearing, and either I get notified ahead of time on what's going on so I can really give them my suggestions, or afterward we have a private meeting and that thing so I can give them my input.
Growing up, it was hard for my dad to communicate with anyone. In order to talk to him, I would have to talk to him really loud. I remember getting frustrated sometimes because I was still in elementary school and I wasn't able to write well enough to communicate on paper. Almost every time, I was stopped mid-sentence, waiting for him to put his hearing aid in. Since I'm the oldest child, I've had to take on the responsibility of helping my parents with everything related to communicating. My dad has always been the landlord of 3 apartments that we own in Allston. We would get many phone calls from realtors asking if it was available, or asking to show the apartment. I was left with the responsibility of answering those phone calls and taking down messages. I felt like a 9-year-old secretary for my dad. I have gotten so used to raising my voice at my dad that it has become natural for me to talk that way, even when I'm with my friends. Sometimes I would talk to my friends, and they would say, "You're talking really loud." I feel like I lost control of the volume of my voice. Sometimes I wonder, what would my dad do if I weren't there to help him? What will he do if I can't help him? Sometimes I wish I could talk to you without yelling.
I wish I could talk to you without yelling.
I want to be able to talk to you without emailing you or messaging you on Facebook from 3 feet away. I know that your hearing is getting worse, and that every day I have less of a chance to be able to talk to you. It kills me to know that one day you won't be able to hear what I'm saying to you. We've always had a close relationship, and I don't want to be limited to talking to you through writing or text. You're my inspiration for being involved. I will always be there to help you whenever you need me. I'll always be there to listen for you. When you need help, I'll be there. I promise.